No one ever prepares you for the kind of heartbreak that doesn't explode but instead slowly erodes. It doesn't arrive with yelling, slamming doors, or tears that flood the floor. No, this kind slips in softly, like a draft under a locked window. It begins in the silence, in the pauses between words, in the vanishing laughter where it once rang easily. It's the slow fading of someone still standing right before you. I met Emily 5 years ago in a hidden bookshop cafe on a quiet street. She sat near the window tucked into a corner seat, completely absorbed in the bell jar. Her hands cupped a chipped mug of dark coffee. She wore a faint, wistful smile, the kind that made her seem like she belonged to some faraway, peaceful world. I don't know what made me walk over, but I did. And somehow a simple comment about Sylvia Plath became a 3-hour conversation that felt less like a beginning and more like picking up something left behind. She was a beautiful contradiction, composed but fierce, open yet unknowable in a way that drew you in. I didn't fall for her slowly. I was gone at once, and I didn't fight it. Loving her felt like finally exhaling. At first, everything was easy. She'd text me midday just to say she missed me. We'd fall asleep tangled in each other's arms, cook elaborate meals, only to dance barefoot in the kitchen, while 90s slow jams played softly in the background. Once, she laid her head on my chest and whispered, "This is where I feel safest." I believed her, without a pause. That closeness became the axis around which my life turned. But not everything shatters suddenly. Sometimes it unravels piece by piece, while you're still holding on. It didn't start with a fight. It started with something missing. A dimming spark in her eyes. A kiss that landed half-hearted. A touch that lingered less and less. I blamed it on work stress, on fatigue. Told myself love was seasonal, so I stepped up. Cooked her favorite meals. After long days. Left sticky notes on her mirror saying, "You're my calm in the chaos." I didn't crave big gestures, just some moment of closeness again. But even small efforts began to feel like paper planes against a brick wall. She pulled back from simple affection. A morning kiss met with a turned cheek. Hugs grew shallow, like obligations. Instead of warmth, she rolled away in bed, saying she was too tired to talk. The silence between us thickened, charged with something unnamed. I didn't press her, gave space, but deep down I knew we were coming undone quietly, without a single raised voice. Then came the moment that cracked the illusion. A quiet Sunday. We were meant to drive out to visit her parents. I shaved, wore the cologne she once said smelled like safety. She wore the navy blouse I loved, for how it made her eyes glow. As we headed to the door, I leaned instinctively for a soft kiss. Nothing dramatic, just love. She recoiled, flinched like I was a stranger crossing a line. "Don't kiss me," she said. No anger, no reason, just cold detachment. My hand hung in the air, like a question no one wanted to answer. And I said nothing. Didn't ask. Didn't argue. Didn't beg. I simply nodded, walked past her, grabbed my keys, and left. That was the real goodbye. Not in the words, but in what stayed unsaid. I drove for hours, ending up at the overlook we once visited early on, where we dreamed about our future kids' travels, a house with wide windows and morning light. I sat on the hood and stared out over the city, and it hit me. I had already lost her long before that Sunday. I just hadn't wanted to face it. Something inside me shut down that day. Not in resentment, but in finality. I didn't announce it. Didn't need to. My Silence became the message. After that, I stopped reaching, stopped initiating, moved around the house like a guest, ate, in silence, slept far from her. I wasn't passive, I was deliberate. I'd stopped waiting for her to care. No longer searched her face for tenderness. The me who once held on, who begged quietly in the dark, disappeared the moment she said, "Don't kiss me." And strangely, the quiet that once crushed me began to feel like peace. She noticed the shift, and it unsettled her. I caught her, watching me again. Once, I found her, scrolling through my phone something she'd never done. She started wearing makeup even when we had no plans. Cooked my favorite pasta, texted during the day, asked about my meetings. I thanked her, but the wall stayed. She asked me to brunch like before. I told her I had plans. I did. I drove north, hiked alone, sat by a still lake. For the first time in a long time, I didn't feel lonely. I felt light. When I came home, she was waiting in the living room, wrapped in the gray sweater I used to love. Candlelit, music playing. "Where were you?" she asked. "Just out." "With who?" "Just me." She looked like she wanted to say more. I didn't open that door. That was our new rhythm, her reaching me unmoved. A few days later, she brushed past and said, "You smell good." I nodded, "Thanks," and kept walking. That's when I saw it hit her. The realization, the absence she once handed me now surrounded her. She began texting casual check-ins. "Dinner tonight? Movie?" I replied politely, never initiated. I let her sit in the silence I had drowned in for months because by then I had already grieved. I had mourned the woman who laughed while stirring pasta, who looked at me like I was her favorite view. That woman was gone, and I'd stopped searching for her. Then one night a message lit up my phone. "I miss us." I didn't freeze. Didn't feel a knife. Just quiet confirmation of what I already knew. She saw it now, the damage, the distance. She'd spent months pushing me away, and now she was reaching for what she assumed would still be waiting. Next morning, she made coffee for both of us. Placed the mug before me. "I know. I've been far away," she said softly. "I want to fix this." I looked at her. Really looked. She was still beautiful, but something had shifted. Not in her. In me. The star had changed. I gave her a soft smile, sipped the coffee, stood, kissed her forehead, the kind of kiss I once craved, and said, "We'll talk soon." It wasn't a lie, but not a promise. Now, she was the one waiting, hoping, and I had nothing left to give. She tried harder. Candles, old playlists, the perfume I once adored. She touched my hand while I washed dishes. Laughed too loudly at my jokes. But every attempt sounded like footsteps echoing in an empty house. Then came the night she asked me to meet for drinks at the same bar from our second date. She wore the red dress I loved. Her laugh cracked. Instead of rang, she spoke not of dreams, but regrets. Midway through her drink, she reached for my hand. I pushed you away because I was scared. She said, "You loved me so deeply." It overwhelmed me. I didn't pull back, but I didn't hold on either. "I get it," I said. She leaned in. "I want us again." I met her eyes. "Emily, I asked for connection for months. You turned away. You looked at me like I was a stranger. Do you remember what you said before brunch?" She lowered her eyes. "Don't kiss me," she whispered. I nodded. "You said it like my touch disgusted you." I didn't stop loving you then, but I started healing without you. And now I don't want to go back. Her tears came quietly. "I love you." I know, I said. Just not the way I need to be loved. When the check came, I paid. Not to prove anything, but to end it with
dignity.
That night, I heard her crying. In the living room. I didn't comfort her, not out of cruelty, but because it was no longer mine to carry. She kept trying over the next week, breakfast, mentions of therapy, but she didn't see I'd already rebuilt myself in her absence. 2 weeks later, we sat on the
porch.
She handed me water after a run. I think I've lost you, she said.
I
looked at the fading sky. You didn't lose me now. You lost me then.
Bit by bit.
Night by night. Every time you turned away. She swallowed. Is there someone else?
No, but there will be.
And when she comes, she'll treat my love like a treasure, not a weight. Are you leaving? I already did. You just didn't notice. That weekend I packed quietly, took only what was mine left.
The key.
As I reached the door, she blocked it. Mascara smudged.
Hollow.
Please, she whispered. Don't go. Oh.
I
looked at her a long time. I stayed when you didn't want me. Now that I've found peace, don't ask me to return to pain. And I left. I drove to a friend's cabin. By the lake. No messages. No wait.
I
slept under stars I hadn't looked at in
years.
The next morning a text arrived. I'm sorry. Please come back. I can't sleep without you. But I didn't answer. Not to punish her, but because I had finally stopped begging to be seen.
She
didn't end us with one sentence.
She
cracked something fundamental.
And while
she reached for the pieces I had already rebuilt myself into someone who no longer mistook silence for love. Because real love is never earned through suffering. It's given freely, or not at all.